This is PC747 with the Next Up YouTube. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about how Stadia may actually have a few things they do better than the PlayStation 5. So let's get started. So man, I've been rocking Stadia like almost since it's been released. I've been talking about some of the goods they've done, some of the critiques I've had with them. But then I'm like, okay, whenever Sony come out with the PlayStation 5, that may be it. So I finally got my hands on the PlayStation 5. Been playing it for a little bit. And I'm going to say these are the three things that Stadia actually do better than the PlayStation 5. Number one, the startup cost and the ease of getting one. Let's be honest, the PlayStation 5 is out there, but man, to get one seems like you're going to have to go through a bunch of hoops and, triggeration and, almost seem like back alley deals just so you can get a gaming system. Because of the simple fact that right now there is a shortage of PlayStation 5s out on the market. So for you to be able to pick up a PlayStation 5, you're going to either have to A, beat the scalpers to the punch, or B, have to deal with those same scalpers as they charge you a little bit more than what they paid just to pick one up. But with a Stadia, you literally can start playing with a lot of the things that you probably already have at the house. You got a computer, you got an old gaming controller, and high-speed internet, you're pretty much good to go. And they do have enough games to, kind of whet your appetite as a casual gamer. You got the Mortal Kombat, they got Madden on there finally, and they got some other games that will be appealing to, some of the general crowd. So, yeah, you look at how much it costs to pick up a gaming controller. Even if you was to go with the Stadia one, you're looking at $70. And then if you decide to say, look, I want to play it on the TV, well, you can pick up a Chromecast, with a TV remote for like $50 at Best Buy. And in fact, that's the one I'm using. I picked one up the other day at Best Buy, popped it in there, and I am liking the Chromecast that is had the Google TV built in because it literally feels like the marriage between Chromecast and Google TV. So you pick that up, look, $50 for that, $70 for the controller. You're talking about $120 to get started. You're good to go. PlayStation 5, at minimum $500. If you can pick it up at that price. If you're not getting scalped by the people that's charging you more for that. So just keep that in mind. You're able to get started and get going right now and at a much cheaper price than what you can for a Sony PlayStation 5. Number two, I feel the thing that this was Sony and the PlayStation, and really you can throw Xbox in there, have that I feel like can slow it down from being appealing or more appealing to the casual gamers. And that's the fact that you got to deal with the uploads and the downloads and the updates and all this other stuff that you got to do, right? If you're someone who barely get a time to game, you just want to pick up a controller and go, last thing you want to do is see that you got to wait for your game to finish updating, or you got to wait for the download to finish, and it's going to be about 20, 30 minutes before you can play your game or get into the full gaming experience. Whereas with Stadia, if you go ahead and let's say you update to the latest game or you add a feature, it's ready to go. There's no update or upload times, all this other stuff. It's ready to go right now. One of the things that impressed me, and I've seen it firsthand, when Mortal Kombat released like the Ultimate Edition, and you was able to add that to the Mortal Kombat 11 Stadia, to add the Ultimate Edition package. You literally, you bought it, you played it, it was ready to go right then. Where those with the PlayStation 4 and the other gaming systems had to wait for this download to go through and an update, I was able to play right then and get into the game experience. And for me, that's one of the things I feel like I wish Google would do a little bit more promoting, because that really is what stands out, that you can play right now. You're not having to waste time waiting for updates or anything like that. It's ready to go. So no matter what game you buy, if you click on it, you're ready to play. You don't have to wait for it to download onto your system. You are ready to go right now. And that is going to be a big deal for someone who just can't wait to get into gaming. The final thing for me, I think, is the controller. Out of the box, the PlayStation 5 controller is a decent controller. Don't get me wrong with, I'm able to play games just fine on it. But I feel like the controller for the Stadia just feel, I don't know, more ergonomic. The PlayStation 5 controller is going to have more features and more things you can do with it. But if you're gaming for a long period of time, it's just more comfortable. The Stadia controller is, and the Stadia controller is based on the Xbox controller design, so it's nothing new. But I really feel like that controller just feels better in the hands. And I know this is something that's gonna be subjective. For one person, one controller may be more comfortable or appealing to the other. But for me, this is the thing that really stands out. Now, let's be honest. As much as I talk about where the Stadia just have these three things that make it more appealing than a PlayStation, even me as someone who ride for the Stadia, there is a clear-cut winner here, and it's the PlayStation 5. It's not even a contest because it's more appealing to a lot more people. Look, where Stadia is going to stand out and always be a standout for is for the fact that you can get up and go right now, and for the fact that it's attached to Google TV. But for right now, let's be honest. One, it's not really attached to enough Google TVs. And two, even if it was attached to every Google TV, ever made or ever out there, it's more comparable to, I would say, you remember those old flat screen TVs back in the day, like 5, 6 years ago. You go into a hotel and you can pick up the hotel remote and play like solitaire or Pong or something like that. It's very reminiscent of that. Where Stadia can just be more appealing to, hotels and other places like that, where, you can pick up and start playing a game on the hotel TV. And, where instead of just being a Pong or a solitaire, you can enjoy something like a Madden or a Mortal Kombat or some other of the games that's out there, something to pass the time and be more appealing. But as far as providing a more better gaming experience, even for casual gamers, Sony and the PlayStation 5 wins. And this is not even taking into account what Xbox did with the next one. This is just the PlayStation 5 versus the Stadia. It's a clear winner. It's not even close. It's not. You have more games to choose from. You have more gaming options. And if you're someone who just don't happen to live in the area where you can afford to be on high-speed internet and cloud gaming for 24/7, 365, or however long you need to be, or if your provider don't allow for that, this is going to automatically just send you to something like the Sony PlayStation 5. And even for someone like me who have been among providers that provided the speed to allow me to run a Stadia. And look, there are some games that's fun and appealing, but Stadia just kind of whet the appetite. But the PlayStation 5 provided a full course meal when it came to games. As I'm going to the Stadia store looking for games to play or games that appeal to me, it's not much. I'm like, okay, once I'm bored with the Maddens and which I've gotten bored with, it's like, what else do I have to play? And this for me, where I think it really appealing for those who, like, you start out with Stadia, but you're like, man, I want more. Stadia just not going to be able to compete with that. It's really not. And I think a lot of people already know that. And so what Google's going to have to figure out is what they're going to do with Stadia. And I think they already figured that out. I think they're done. I think they bowed out of the gaming race. They know that they're really not going to compete with what Xbox is doing or what Sony is doing. But they're trying to do their own thing. And attaching Stadia to Google TV is going to be appealing. And it's something that can help them sell more Google TVs and boost the Google name and package as a whole. But as far as standing out there and being the gaming platform that people are going to choose, nah, that's all I have. This is PC747. What's the next up, YouTube? I'm out.